Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Rico, and this is Relatively Sound, the channel where shit has hit the fan. Since Tony is a bit busy this week, I thought I'd try something different for today's episode. If you didn't already know, last year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony happened a couple months ago. Now, I don't normally put a lot of stock in these award shows or ceremony, mostly because I think it's insane that certain bands and artists haven't been inducted yet. But with this year's ceremony, I was pleasantly surprised to see some bands like the White Stripes and Soundgarden get included. But even better, we finally got to see singer-songwriter Warren Zevon get his flowers. Now, if that name doesn't ring a bell to you, then it's a damn shame. But you still may know him from his signature song, Werewolves of London. In his too short lifetime, Warren released 12 studio albums, collaborated with a variety of artists, and touched the lives of a lot of listeners, myself included. After years of his fans calling for his recognition in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it finally happened. He was inducted by his longtime friend and late night show host David Letterman, and The Killers, who just happens to be one of my other favorite rock bands, performed one of his biggest hits, Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
I'm hiding in Honduras. I'm a desperate man. Send lawyers, guns, and money. The shit has hit the fan.
I thought it was fantastic. So today in celebration, I wanted to give my 4 reasons of why I personally love Warren's music and why I think people should take a deep dive into his catalog of music. I think the first thing that stands out to me in Warren's music is his sense of humor. Again, if you have only heard Werewolves of London once in your life, you might think you have a sense of his writing style, but it wasn't just all wacky one-liners and goofy imagery. He also had a dark sense of humor that could rival the likes of someone like Stephen King, and his dry sarcasm that's displayed on a song like Poor, Poor Pitiful Me, where he sings about wanting to lay his head on some railroad tracks, but with just his luck, the train doesn't run anymore. Going down that same line of thinking, we also have the title track off of his classic album, Excitable Boy, where he explains the deranged mental state of a guy who kills a girl and builds a cage with her bones. Now, I know that might not sound exactly funny, but it is set to this fantastic upbeat instrumental that sounds like it's from the 50s, especially with those backing vocals. So it's really the contrast of the dark lyrics and the upbeat music to me that just kind of makes this song unforgettable. Hell, just take a look at some of these song titles. You don't even need to hear them to know you're going to be in for a wild ride. But still, let's take a look at some of these song titles anyway.
Let me break it to you, son. Your shit's fucked up. I said my shit's fucked up.
And speaking of my shit's fucked up, how was it that Warren wrote the song before he even knew about his illness? It's almost like he was psychic. When the song first came out, it was funny just for the title alone, but now there's definitely a bittersweetness to it. Now, the flip side to his humor was how sensitive and introspective Warren could get, which is the second reason why I'm drawn to his music. Yes, I'm talking about his ballads. Most bands and artists have them, but I feel like Warren's slower songs always felt extremely genuine. Just look at his song, Reconsider Me. When you hear the lyrics, it doesn't feel like a typical love song. It's about forgiveness and being there for someone. And of course, you can have other iconic ballads like Accidentally Like a Martyr, which was the first song from Warren that blew me away. You have Mutineer, which is a pirate love shanty, just with more synths. Don't Let Us Get Sick, which is not as dark sounding as you would think. And the masterpiece that is the swan song, Keep Me in Your Heart. A song that will always make me tear up because it was his goodbye to all of his loved ones. It's a rare thing to be able to say your proper goodbyes before you leave this place. And the fact that he did that in a gut-wrenching song is amazing. The third aspect I love about Warren is his musicianship. He's not someone that I would say was the best pianist or best guitarist, but you can always tell that he was having fun playing, whether it was on albums or in live performances. Example of this is on his live album, Learning to Flinch. There's moments where he's playing an exciting version of Boo Boo Mancini on guitar, and then he'll hop over to piano and play a just phenomenal version of Piano Fighter. There was an imperfection to his playing and musicianship that just made him seem genuine. He also always aligned himself with other fantastic musicians. In his early career, he wrote songs for the Turtles, he toured with the Everly Brothers, had absolute legends on his self-titled album, including Carl Wilson, Linda Ronstadt, Bonnie Raitt, members of the Eagles, and members of Fleetwood Mac. Plus, he had Jackson Browne, who eventually became his mentor and friend, co-produce the album. Not only that, but with each passing album, he seemed to connect with even more gigantic music superstars and collaborate with them on his albums. One of my personal favorite albums from him is Sentimental Hygiene, which features REM as his backing band. On the same album, you also have Bob Dylan playing harmonica, kick-ass Neil Young guitar solo on the title track, Flea's bass popping on Leave My Monkey Alone, Mike Campbell's guitar on the aforementioned Reconsider Me, as well as Stan Lynch doing his vocal harmonies, and Brian Setzer playing lead guitar on the song Trouble Waiting to Happen. His friendship with REM also led to the supergroup between the two of them called the Hindu Love Gods, where they spent a whole night recording spontaneous fun covers of mostly old rock and blues songs. This eventually led to their one and only album of these covers being released in 1990 that contained a somewhat popular cover of Prince's song Raspberry Beret. Now, I'd be here all day if I listed every collab Warren had with other artists, but the last ones I'd like to mention is his song Disorder in the House, which features a blistering guitar solo and vocals from Bruce Springsteen. As well as the other collabs on Warren's last studio album called The Win, featuring Tom Petty, Billy Bob Thornton, Jackson Browne, T-Bone Burnett, and Emmylou Harris. And to wrap it up, my last favorite thing about Warren was just how true he stayed to himself. I know this might sound like a pointless reason to like someone's music, but it's not every day you can say that about someone. Some artists and bands just write the same album over and over again, and others seem to sell out and try to write whatever sounds trendy to them that year. But Warren seemed to do whatever the hell he wanted. In 1989, he released his album Transverse City, which featured themes of a dystopian future that took a deep dive into cyberpunk elements. Now, did that album age well? I'm not sure I would really say that, but even if you don't love that album, you can't say Warren didn't give it his all. Same with his 1995 album Mutineer. It features some of Warren's most out-of-pocket songwriting and instrumentation, featuring accordion, toy-like keyboards, and a whole lot of synths. The production is far from his best work in my opinion, but damn did it feel great to have some songs like the title track. Warren just wrote whatever inspired him and didn't really care about critics or what would sell the best. And because of this, I feel like Warren's legacy has been revered by many of his peers, even if he's still not a household name, sadly. After his passing, he's had many celebrations and covers celebrating his life. Some of these covers include the great artists like Jason Isbell, the Wallflowers, Springsteen, Dylan, the Pixies, Ben Folds, War on Drugs, the Killers, Jackson Browne, Sean Colvin, and his own son, Jordan Zevon. I hope this video gives you more than a couple reasons on why you should check out Warren's music. You can't really go wrong listening to any of his albums, but my recommendations would include Excitable Boy, his self-titled album, Sentimental Hygiene, Life Will Kill Ya, and his final studio album, The Wind. I'm glad his legacy is still being celebrated with new covers, vinyl repressing of his albums. I'm personally just missing 2 of them from my own collection. And now his introduction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame after all of these years. I would love if you commented down below on what your favorite Warren Zevon songs and albums are. And the very last thing I'll leave you with is this quote from the man himself.
Your perspective now, do you know something about life and death that maybe I don't know now?
Not unless I know how much you're supposed to enjoy every sandwich. You know.
Keep me in your heart.